What's happening, YouTube? Jonathan Pariente, the Education 10 here, coming at you guys with another video. I want to ask you guys to please continue to check and subscribe to my channel for more YouTube videos. Well, I honestly thought it was never going to happen. We will have postseason baseball for 2020, COVID-19 and all. Little different from your normal baseball season. 8 teams from each side on the American and National League are in. Teams that finished first and second are in, and then the rest are wild cards. Instead of a normal wild card best of one game playoff to determine one of the two wild cards, it'll be best of 3 and every team will play. The higher seed will play in the lower seed's home stadium. But after that, all the games from that point on will be in a bubble. Basically in one stadium chosen to be a bubble hub for the championship, the division series, and the World Series. Very interesting, but I like it. So let's go through the matchups pretty quickly, and the last one will be my main meat of the discussion. For the National League, you have the Dodgers taking on the Brewers. I like the matchup. I think it's really good. Very interesting. The Braves will take on the Reds. The Cubs will take on the Marlins. And the Padres will take on the Cardinals. On the American League side, the Tampa Bay Rays will take on the Blue Jays. The Oakland A's will take on the White Sox. The Astros will take on the Twins. And the final one, and this is the big one I'm putting my eyes on, the Yankees will take on the Cleveland Indians. Now for the Yankees, it's been a very, very crazy journey. Picked as favorites to win, as they always are. They have a great team when everything is working. They got Gerrit Cole before the season began, and of course the speculation was 162 games, we're going to see Gerrit Cole dominate. He's been the investment. He's worked out. He's worked out for the Yankees as expected. But the Yankees have been through a lot of ups and downs this year. The projection was the Yankees should have won that East. They didn't. They lost 8 of 10 to the Rays, and that played a big difference. The Yankees struggled through the latter half of September. Weren't able to get big hits with runners on scoring position. Had to rely a lot on the home run or bust. Pitching was getting beat up. You weren't seeing the bullpen play efficiently as they normally would. So the Yankees, in the end, be very fortunate they finished as a 5 seed, but they will not host the wild card. So you have to ask right now, how will the Yankees fare the rest of the way when their hitting has been very, very inconsistent? The starting pitching, you have to raise a few flags, particularly after Cole and Tanaka. You have to ask yourself that. Can the Yankees possibly make a run? I've seen teams that started off that played poorly down the stretch and then click in the playoffs. It can happen. That certainly can happen. And for the Yankees, it's going to have to happen because the road getting here is going to be a fight. And the Cleveland Indians are one of the hottest teams going into the playoffs right now. The pitching matchups are set. Game 1, the Yankees will send Gerrit Cole. The Indians will counter with Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber led the league in wins, lowest ERA, and can be downright unhittable when he's on. And the Yankees are going to have a very, very tough matchup with the rest of this team's offense. Francisco Lindor, Jose Ramirez, Carlos Santana. The Yankees are all too familiar with playing the Indians. Now, they did come back 3 years ago. They were down 2-0. It looked like that series was over. The Yankees came all the way back and beat the Indians in 5 games and had quite a run going into the ALCS before falling to Houston 3 years ago in 7 games. Now, you'd like to think, yeah, Gerrit Cole should be an automatic, right? Going up against Bieber. No, it's not necessarily an easy one. Game 2 would be Carlos Carrasco against Masahiro Tanaka. Okay? the Yankees will have to be banking on if they win both those games. Because the third game, the Yanks have not decided on a starter against Zach Plesac. And the Yankees are going to be at a very interesting decision if they have to play a tie-breaking rubber game to determine who moves on. Do you go with J.A. Happ, or do you go with the rookie Davy Garcia? Both of whom have been really, really solid. This will be a very interesting choice to make if that third game does have to be played, but right now we don't know yet. The Yankees need to take care of business, and I think they have to win in 2 games just to avoid that rubber game. But for that to happen, the lineup has to start hitting. Everyone in this lineup for the Yankees going into this was hurt. Urshela got hurt. Gleyber Torres got hurt. Stanton, Judge, all hurt. They were all hurt at some point in the year. LeMahieu was banged up. So you really, if you were the Yankees, had to go through quite a journey through hell and back to get to where they are now. Not to mention, for the most part, half the lineup has been ice cold for the Yanks in particular. Gary Sanchez has been non-existent, hitting $150. Tyler Wade's been playing here and there. He's hitting $170. Mike Ford, not even playing. Andujar, struggling in the field still. But you've seen from the Yankees, at least for the most part, LeMahieu, Luke Voit, they're leading the way for the Yanks on offense right now. Luke Voit led the league in home runs. DJ LeMahieu won the batting title for the American League, and he is the first player to do this accomplishment of winning the batting title for the both American and National League since 1900. And it's also the first time that 2 players on the same team won the batting title and home run total since 1959. So just incredible accomplishment, yes. But now, of course, the playoffs are here. That all gets thrown out the window now. How deep the Yankees will go is going to depend on how their pitching comes out and how their hitting and execution pans out. Now, the Yanks are already going to make one big move, at least for the first game. Kyle Higashioka will catch Garrett Cole. They will not use Gary Sanchez. So this is going to be very interesting. Considering that Cole and Higashioka have pitched well together, I have no problem with that. But Higashioka, has he played in a playoff series like this before? I couldn't say that he has. Remember, the Yanks had Romine back then, so Higashioka was kind of like a third-string catcher. Now Higgy is the main backup. So how will he go out in his first playoff game? How will he perform? Will other players on the Yankees that had struggled this year, will Aaron Hicks start hitting again? Will Judge get his bat back together? Will Stanton come through, which he has proven he has not been able to? Clint Frazier has bounced back this year. He has been one of the most improved players we've seen and finally living out to the expectation of what the Yankees had expected of him. So, all the cards are now going to line up tomorrow night as the Yankees will take on the Indians, and this is going to be a fight to the finish here. The Indians haven't forgotten what happened to them 3 years ago. The Yankees, of course, remember what the Indians did to them 13 years ago. Remember the Midges game? The bugs were flying around. Job Chamberlain couldn't throw a strikeout there. The bugs just kept flying around. Those are all things that are going to be in play here. How will the Yankees come out? Again, no fans. So how will they come out? Well, the Yankees are going to have to figure out how to score situationally, hitting-wise, not just the long ball. If they don't do it, then it's going to be the end of the road very quickly for the Yanks. Let's see how they come out starting tomorrow night. Jonathan Pariente, the Execution 10, saying bye for now.